Hello my friends from the interwebs, Survive with Knife here. Today with another blade review, and today I'm going to be showing you the excellent cold steel SRK. There you go, there's the knife. I've had this knife for probably almost a year, getting close, and I put it through the paces. I've used it outdoors, batoning, chopping, carving, and it has definitely held up to the task and actually done better for the type of steel, and we'll be getting into that, than really what I expected. So I'm going to definitely give this knife a 10 out of 10. Let's start off with the handle material. The handle here is excellent, is all I can say. I'm going to pull that up close to the camera so you can see the texturing on that. Very good texturing, very grippy. It's made of craton. A thick handle, not too thin. Fits the hand well, very comfortable. One of probably the most comfortable and grippiest handles, on a knife. Combining those two elements, providing both grip and comfort. Some handles and knives are comfortable, but maybe the material that they're made of is not, and the texturing does not provide good grip in, let's say, wet conditions. This knife here is going to do all of that, both comfort and it's going to grip well in wet conditions. No jimping on the back of this blade, but I don't know that that's really necessary. You can also choke up on this knife. There is about a 3/4 to a 5/8 of an inch of unsharpened choil right there, and allows you to get really close and do the fine detail type tasks with this knife. There is a small hilt here, which definitely is not intrusive, and is beneficial in a case where, if any type of forward type thrusting motion or anything like that, because this knife here, as you'll also see, I'll talk about it, does do well in a tactical type role. So you would want that hilt there in that case, but that's not obtrusive for choking up for more bushcrafting type tasks. The blade steel on this, I don't know if I mentioned yet, but is AUS 8 steel. This is the first fixed blade knife that I've had with AUS 8, and I had a few reservations about it initially, but I have to say that this knife has definitely alleviated those or assuaged those reservations, because it's really held up very well to outdoor use. I have a lot of pocket knives that are AUS 8. I've always loved that blade steel for a mid-grade stainless steel, and for pocket knives, for folding knives, but I didn't really know what to expect, with a survival type knife where it's going to be taking a lot of impact, a lot of vibration, and has the potential of chipping, which a lot of stainless steel knives will have a potential of doing more. They don't hold their edge quite as well, and they have more of a tendency to chip due to the higher chromium content than do your high carbon steel blades. The factory edge on here was sharp. This is definitely not the factory edge anymore, so I can't demonstrate you the factory edge, but I would say that it was really good. However, I did not like the angle of the grind or the final cutting bevel, and so I did reprofile this, and all I can say is it takes an edge very well and is very, very sharp. This thing is shaving sharp, and if I can get my hand around my tripod here, maybe I can demonstrate this. You can see that it will definitely, like I said, the angle really doesn't help out, but it is definitely razor sharp. So great edge, and holds the edge well for a stainless steel. Not as good as your high carbon 1095, maybe 01 tool steel. Is not going to hold as well as as one of those blade steels, but it's still going to definitely be more than adequate, and at least in my experience it has been. The overall length of the knife is 10 3/4 inches, and I'll bring in here another favorite of mine, the Cold Steel Recon Scout, as kind of a comparison here. You can see it there. The blade is 6 inches in length. It is 3/16 in thickness, and the cutting edge is about 5.5. I would actually say when I did measure the blade, it was just maybe about 1/8 of an inch longer than 6 inches. So even though they say, I believe on their website, it's 6 inches, it is actually just a hair longer than that. There it is in comparison to the Recon Scout. Maybe put it out here. Let's maybe put the more companion out here. You can kind of see it in comparison to that knife. Let me see here. Let's put the Trailmaster out here. Definitely, Trailmaster definitely dwarfs it. So the knife weight does come in at an 8.2 ounces, so it's not extremely light, but neither is it a very heavy knife. Hence, this knife is not an excellent chopper. You know, definitely not the chopper that you can, the chopping you can accomplish with something like the Recon Scout. The ergonomics, as I mentioned before, kind of already covered this, but are excellent. The sheath on this knife, same Secure X sheath you get with, like I get with the Trailmaster, with the Recon Scout from Cold Steel. You know, I really can't say enough good about these sheaths. These things are excellent. They have the button here, which allows you to add and remove the sheath from your belt without removing your belt. I really like that feature. The knife has a very positive placement into the sheath. Very positive. It is not going to come out for any reason. This here is kind of a pouch that I made myself that has some survival stuff in here, like some cotton balls and Vaseline, a sharpener, and then the fire steel here strapped to the outside. But this is not standard with the sheath. Let me actually remove that, just so you can see the sheath without the that pouch on it. And there you go. It also has a retention strap here for the handle, and there's what the knife looks like in the sheath. Put that down there. The role of this knife, tactical self-defense. Probably not a conceal carry type of knife, definitely not in that role, but when it talks about like a soldier knife, attaching it to load-bearing equipment and things like that, an LBE vest, definitely. This knife would definitely serve well in that role and would be my choice on my own LBE. Survival, it's a good wood processor, a good bush crafting type of knife, very allows you to choke up, really performs very well. Feather stick making, tent stake making, bow drill set making, it does a phenomenal job. Batoning, yeah, not huge, wood, but actually does very well. Is going with the 3/16 thick blade, that is adequate definitely for batoning. Brush clearing, it doesn't have the heft and weight of a large machete or a larger knife like the Trailmaster, so probably not the best in that, or shelter building. You just need a larger fixed blade for that. Food preparation, yeah, actually I would probably do pretty well with that. It's not too thick. A lot of times if you're slicing tomatoes or potatoes or something like that, you don't want too thick of a blade, and this knife is on the edge of being a little bit too thick, but it's still, I've used it, and it does work well in that role also. I think it would also serve well. It has a little bit thinner blade. Now, I don't mean I'm talking about width of the blade here for hunting purposes, to choke up and use it for skinning and things like that. But it could definitely do that. Usually I like a knife with a little bit wider and a little bit less of a pronounced point. But this can do that without a problem. I think I actually did process a squirrel with this knife, if I remember right. Utility knife, that's just not really its task and its role. It could probably do that. I don't know if I'd want to use it as that type of a knife. That's just not what it's designed to do. It's designed to be a survival, tactical type knife that really fills both of those roles, I think, probably equally well. Cool factor, yeah, probably not the coolest looking knife, but it does have a little bit of that. But really, it just works and does the job, and that's really what we need. When it comes to price, actually I should have looked this up in more detail before I started the review, but I think this knife goes for around $60–$70, somewhere in that range. If you shop around a little bit, you can find it. I would like to have this knife. This knife is also available in Sanmai steel, which is a very good steel from Japan. The knife is going to run you around $120–$130 with that steel. Cold Steel at one time had this knife in carbon V or carbon 5, which was kind of a cross, I believe, between like 01 and 1095. And if I could ever find myself an SRK with that, I would snap it up. But I'd tell you what, the AUS 8 here is definitely no slouch. So there you guys go. There's my review of the Cold Steel SRK. Let me know what you guys think, and go ahead and subscribe and like the video. Thank you. Have a good day.